Hello and welcome back to episode 12 of the Aurora series we're doing here today. Now, as we get into the episode, I do want to go over a few things. First off, if you do like the videos, please remember to comment, like, subscribe. It really does help me out. And if you want to support me in the best way possible, please do join as a member. So, what were we doing last episode? Well, last episode, we were testing out our new vessels. And in this episode, I'm going to go over the new naval organization, which I will be using, and you'll be able to see on screen now. Now, this isn't the full extent of the naval organization, but this is with our existing vessels. So let me just go over the initial admin commands, so to speak. We have the Navy, of course, so that is the main naval headquarters. We then have First Fleet, Second Fleet, and these fleet units then contain carrier strike groups, multiple or singular. In this case, the First Fleet contains 2 carrier strike groups. Each carrier strike group will contain 1 main carrier, 3 superiority fighter squadrons, and then we are going to plan for a strike fighter squadron with missile technology. And in that regard, we're going to be discontinuing the F3 and F1 series and changing them into now purely missile offensive capable platforms. The carrier strike group also includes 2 cruisers. Now, these will normally be missile cruisers, but obviously we don't have that currently available. So in this case, the carrier strike group 1 has the Ariel and the Stefano as the 2 cruiser escorts. We then have a destroyer squadron. The destroyer squadron will be built up of 2 guided missile destroyers and then 3 normal destroyers for escort and point defense duties, which obviously that does provide a little bit more firepower. So in total, we'll have quite a bit of missile firepower at our hand, as well as obviously the escorts, including primarily those fighters that are going to be doing the vast majority of the point defense work, which is what they're really going to be useful at. We then have the second carrier strike group. Now, the second carrier strike group right now is waiting for another cruiser. It has 5 normal destroyers because we don't have enough guided missile destroyers, and it has its squadrons all sorted out. So we currently have 1.8-ish effective carrier strike groups available and orbiting Earth. In total, the tonnage for such a strike group will be about 175,000 tons around there. Then, to support the strike groups corresponding with each, so carrier strike group 1 will have replenishment in Space Squadron 1, we will have our supply vessels. Now, in this case, we don't have them yet, so we're using tankers. And the primary purpose of supply vessels will be to refuel, resupply all of the ships within a carrier strike group. And we'll get to what we're going to be doing to replace these tankers in a little moment. Then we have our destroyer cruiser flotillas. You can see here marked with C to being the cruisers. These are total of 5 ships per squadron. And in that regard, it is going to be 4 normal destroyers with 1 cruiser in the destroyer squad in the primary command squadron, which is destroyer squadron 2, and then in the secondary squadron that will be 2 guided missile destroyers and then 3 normal destroyers. And this allows us to be more reactive, send kind of what we need to the different areas. But it also means that when in actual larger engagements, we combine both of these into the flotilla itself, and the flotilla can begin its operations as a combined group. Then we have the Fleet Reserve. Fleet Reserve is full of various different vessels that we have available to us or that are sitting by, that we can move around or add to places. And then we have a cruiser, destroyer, fighter, ODP reserve, and utility craft reserve, which has some of our observer crafts in there. Pretty self-explanatory as well, build things into. Second Fleet is not yet built up. We just have a very minimal carrier strike group here at the moment. And actually what I am going to do is I'm going to remove 2 of its destroyers, which are currently one of them is being repaired at the moment. And I'm going to add that to destroyer squadron number 5. If possible. Now, the destroyer squadron 5 is in the field, if I remember myself. Yes, it is in the field. What I need to do is I need to move some of the other stuff around. So we're going to move the Mount Rainier over to destroyer squadron 2, and then the Volga to destroyer squadron 3, and then we'll delete this one there. So that gives us a full destroyer squadron available to us, which is 60,000 tons, 50,000 tons, so 110,000 tons approximately. We have a fleet training commander, which will put various vessels to train them up. This will obviously be expensive and cost us a lot of supplies, but this is obviously quite a useful thing. Then we have commercial space lift, military space lift. Commercial space lift is where we have our commercial shipping, except for troop transports, and jump tenders and jump stabilization. This has commercial colonies, freights, and each freight group will, well, we've got to kind of wait for stuff to get back. Each freight group will hopefully have an escort each, and not only that, they will also have 4 Anking class freighters with each of them, and those freighters will provide a very significant number of capacity, so 100,000 tons per freighter group. Military transport groups will have a single freighter per. They'll also have their convoy escorts, of course. The supply group is our MSP, and then obviously colony group is our colony, or colonist movements, that is. We then have Navy tugs in commercial, which is our tugs. That's where our tugs are located. We have Navy harvesters. So we have Alpha 5 harvesters, which we're moving around, then Jovian harvesters right there. And then we have naval tankers, and those are currently situated where they will be. So Jovian or Urta Arrakis, you know, where they're moving the fuel from, so to speak. If we have a look at this, there's an escort squadron currently for this fuel transport group, and is acting, obviously, for support. Then we have a military space lift. So this is where our troop transports come in. We have currently two naval mobility groups. We have Mobility Group 1, which has currently 175,000 tons of crew capacity, has 2 new Zukaku Ms and 3 Zukaku non-Ms. And we have a Naval Mobility Group over here. We have, if we can see over here, we have just 4 normal, so 100,000 tons capacity, and then obviously another escort as well. So we've got our escorts for our troop transports as needed right there. Then we have Strategic Space Lift, which is part of the Military Space Lift Command, and that has 2 jump stabilize. Oh, did I screw something up there? No, I don't think I did. I think we are fine. 2 jump stabilization groups, which stabilize jump points, funnily enough, and then 2 jump tenders, which are going to be needed, obviously, to move large assets through areas. And then let's move on. All right, yeah, let's move on then. So then we have Space Defense Command. The Space Defense Command is where we have our orbital defenses. It's where we have corvettes and smaller crafts. And in a little bit, we'll be talking about frigates, which I've been looking at designing as we have more stuff to cover. We then have the Survey Command, of course, and that has not changed at all, and our civilian shipping lines. So this has really cleaned up and made everything a lot easier to go into and know what you're looking at. It's going to require, obviously, some reassignments and some auto assignments, which I have not done for all of these, which are going to need to be obviously added additionally. But it's definitely going to improve things. Like I said in the last episode, I would sort it out, and I've sorted it out. So let's go on to ship design then. What have I done here? Well, as I talked about on our support vessel, we're going to build ourselves a support vessel. And these support vessels will be utilized in a way that will allow resupply, refueling, and rearming of future weapon platforms with the new ion drive technology. So we're currently waiting for commercial drives, but this will be 60,000 tons in total, and it will go at a speed of 3,125 kilometers per second. And so while it won't be able to fully keep up with a carrier group, it will be able to keep up with existing carrier groups. It'll be faster, in fact, and then it will be close enough that it'll be able to keep up at reasonable speeds while refueling. It has enough fuel to refuel an entire carrier and its destroyer escorts, including the fighters on it and the cruisers. It's got plenty enough fuel there. And it can basically double the range of any carrier group or any group like that, which is a significant benefit when we are definitely dealing with some range issues. Is if we go into our galactic map, you can kind of see that. So from Sol, I'm not sure why that's like that. Well, That's a bit weird. Well, we'll leave it like that for now. I'll fix it after. So from Sol to Nerox is 15 billion kilometers. From Sol to Proxima Centauri is 35 billion kilometers. So we're already exhausting our initial range amounts, because realistically speaking, our Navy can only go about 10 billion kilometers. Even Zitomir at the moment is a big problem. So it's definitely something that we need to fix and we need to solve, and that's going to be using these supply vessels, reestablishing our bases more, and doing more stuff like that. It will also contain 2 K1 rescue shuttles and 4,000 capacity cryogenic bursts. So this will go with the fleet, and it will act in a way that will help the fleet resupply, rearm, refuel, however much it needs to do. One by one, you know, however may have you, and it will be able to also rescue any life pods that go down. It'll be able to rescue the enemy friendlies that go down in the field, and it will be able to store them safely and easily in cryogenic berths. Okay, we then have the K1, pretty standard design, just some sensors on it. Same engines we have on the F3. Very fast, very small. Designed purely to rescue people who have ejected from life pods, that kind of thing. Now, moving on, we have the new guided missile frigate, the Chitose, named after Japanese rivers, this class, and its subsequent vessels. The Chitose class is designed for one thing in mind and one thing only: destruction of enemy raiders. And what I mean by this is that it comes in at 8,000 tons, so it is equal to the size of vessels we kind of see. It has sensors built exactly to fight raiders, so resolution 15. It has a range which is smaller than normal, and so it will have to stay within orbit of planets. It's 5,000 kilometers per second. It has a 15-centimeter railgun to destroy disabled ships, and then it has 32 VLS-8 cells, which will allow it to fire 32 short-range Arashi missiles, and then 6 LCRM longer-range missiles, which it will be able to fire. Now, of course, generally speaking, we will not really be using it for LCRMs. It will be primarily probably used for mines, which I do want to design. And those mines can then be placed around colonies by these frigates, and the frigate's job is to patrol the colonies, is to protect the colonies, and that's what it will do. We still have a lot of research to do for it. We have to research the beam fire control, we have to research the missile fire control, and we also have to research, obviously, this commercial ion drive. The next thing is going to be, we're going to want to really design our next generation of warships. Right now, it's looking like what we've got here, 33,750 kilometers per second. That kind of thing. The most important upgrade is going to be to our carriers, and so that is why I'm going to order a capacity upgrade to 60,000 tons. Okay, now this is going to cost a lot, but this is going to vastly increase the capability of the carriers we can produce. So it's the end of the Akagi, and it's going to be the era of larger carriers, and we're probably going to continue to trend upwards in that regard. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch out some of our fleet carriers, because obviously when you have fighters, you can switch them out as needed. And so I'm going to get rid of the F101. I'm going to get rid of the F2s. I'm going to get rid of the F1s. And we are going to add in F4s. So 36 F4s we can add there. That will be our primary point defense capability for now, considering we don't have any missile fighters. Now, 36 F4s is quite a few, but we are going to want missile designed fighters, and that's what we will produce. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away 10. We will do 24 F4s, and then we'll do just 9 strike fighters, okay? And those will have missiles on them, of course. So if we go over, but we've assigned that, and then we're going to go over to the escort carriers, which we will also need a new design for, obviously. And we will remove the F2s that they have on them now, and the O1s, and I'm just going to place on Yes, we can have 15 F2s on here. We're going to do 12. So we can have 2 more O2s, but there's 12, not F2s. I want F4s. There we go, F4s now on. But the problem with missile fighters is that we're going to need magazines, and we don't have magazines on these carriers, and so it doesn't make any actual sense to do that. So yeah, I think I'll just go full F4s, and we'll keep the missiles for other ships for now on these designs. We will have to update all of these different designs accordingly. The Akagi will get its update eventually. Currently we've got the Haruna guided missile destroyer, missile cruiser, which we are currently in the process of researching and getting up to scratch. We need the missile fire control and ion drives. But I do want to consider the idea of increasing tonnage and increasing capability of this specific vessel, primarily in the missile defense role. And so we're going to wait off before we design upgrades to these. Obviously, we're going to need those upgrades, and those upgrades are going to be required. But for now, we're not going to go too much into them. So yeah, let us now look at some other stuff. So now that we've got a full reorganization of everything that we are doing, what kind of goals do we want to set out for ourselves? What are we trying to accomplish? Well, first thing is that we are currently in the process of dealing with the situation in Kareem and dealing with the situation in Nerox, 2 areas that have been occupied by enemy forces. If we have a look at our ground forces right now, we have a total of 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 tons of MBTs ready to go. We also have 30,000 tons of mechanized. We have surface-to-orbit weapons ready to go. We have a lot of different capabilities ready to go right now. The thing that we're going to be waiting on is, first off, we're training a lot of surface-to-orbit weapons, which is fine. But also we need to start training up proper infantry battalions. Now, we are researching. The research will need to do that, but it's going to take a little bit of time before we can get to that point. So what we will do right now, however, is we will add up these STO formations, and we will then utilize them in the field as needed, of course. So I'm going to, we're going to move these guys. So we have currently 2 more sets of STOs of 10,000 ton. And I'm going to rename these to Surface to Orbit Weapon Battalion. Surface to Orbit Weapon Battalion. We will copy that as well. Hit that and then put PDF. And then do the exact same thing over here. PDF. And then I'm going to get them moved by our newly created military space lift. We'll get Mobility Squadron 1. No, let's get number 2 because you've got lower amounts. We will move both of these. So load 1, load 2. We are going to send them over. So we currently have Thalassa, which is 20 on right now. Invictus has no service or weapons, but I think that's something that I want to be probably moving over. Arrakis doesn't either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load these guys up. We're going to take them over to Arrakis, and we're going to unload them there, and then they will act as the primary forces there for Arrakis to protect the colony. And yeah, that's not much more we can do with those. We need to continue our colonization efforts. We need to get into the colony. We are trying to get a colony on Alpha 3 right now. If I have a look over at our logistics command, so commercial logistics, we look at our freight groups. You are currently unloading maintenance facilities onto the moon of Nerox right now. And then we have commercial freight group 1, who is currently sitting on Earth. And what we are going to have you do is we're going to have you load up infrastructure. I'm going to start colonizing some of the other places in the solar system. So a place like Europa, for example. Now, Europa, we did manage to get quite a few auto mines now on that we're shipping over. But it is of significant value to me so much that I want to get a proper colony on. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cycle those move orders, and we're going to move stuff back and forth as needed there. Colony group is doing fine. You're not doing anything. We have this freight group, which is not doing anything either. We are going to move resources over accordingly. And so what I mean by that is we're going to move Deep space tracking station. No, not deep space tracking station. We might need to start moving over ordnance. We have 10 ground force construction facilities. We'll move over infrastructure as needed. So mines. Well, I'm not sure if we'll hold off on you yet. What is on Arrakis at the moment? Arrakis has 55 mines currently on the colony. It has 2.1 million people available. Yeah, let's start moving over some mines to Arrakis. Check danger rating, go to Zitomir, go to Arrakis, unload all installations, and then head back to Sol, and then refuel, resupply. We're going to need to get these ships escorts, which we currently do not have. But it's a price we have to make for now. We have to make. And in that regard, I'm going to begin increasing the tonnage on the Soryu class yard to 20,000 tons, because that'll be the next generation. But we are going to order up another Soryu class vessel to be constructed, so I'm going to put that into our carrier reserve. We're going to order up the Yucatan to be built. We also need a lot more normal destroyers to be built, and so I'm going to order up into our destroyer reserve. I'm going to order up. The issue is obviously we can't build different kinds of destroyers as easy as I would like. So we can build guided destroyers, obviously, but then we can't build the other kinds of destroyers. So what we will do, I'm not sure why those guys are having issues. Yangtze, GNS. Did we run out of mountains? I think we did. Let's go for provinces then. See if that will solve our little issue there. 1, 2, 3. We'll order up 3 more of those to be built. We will then order up, we'll order up 3 more of those to be built. We're going to order these guys to be in continual capacity upgrade up to 8,000 tons, because that's going to be for our frigates, which I want to start production of as soon as possible. This is all going to take a lot of resources, and a lot of them we're going to need to be able to actually source. We're going to need to also build some more maintenance facilities coming up here soon, but let's actually start incrementing along. Before I do that, though, let's have a look at what is our survey command doing. So, Crab, orbiting Earth in overhaul. Fine. You are doing Tau Ceti. You're orbiting Earth in overhaul. Yeah, you need to actually have your orders set back up. Great White, we're going to send you over to, let me have a look at the galactic map. To Actum, Tau Ceti. Let's send you to Actum. Send you to Actum. Jellyfish is doing surveying, you're doing surveying, you're doing surveying. Okay, they're all doing surveying. Let's head over to Zitomir, which was the site of the recent engagement that occurred. Oh, let me zoom in there. There we go. And let's do some 1-day increments. Actually, before I do that, oh god, I keep thinking. I'm going to send one of our carrier strike groups into training. Now, what is our fuel situation on Earth? 21 million liters of fuel. Okay, we're going to send these guys into carrier strike group 1. We're going to send you into training group, fleet training. I'm going to see how that turns out, okay? Commercial mineral group has completed orders and is at Earth. So, yeah, you are Earth. You are moving resources over from Zitomir, which is useful, obviously. We'll keep you on standby for now. F4 in the fleet, maximum level of training, We're at Admiral. Yeah, we're going to have to wait for a bunch of different things to occur here. Reassign the landing commands. Okay, carrier strike group. You are training. So 100% training, 100% training. We're currently training up the F3s, which we're not going to build anymore, which I need to make sure I cancel the order on for. We are going to begin designing some new fighters. Yeah, we're pretty much already trained on you then, so we're going to bring you back. This group's pretty much trained as far as I can tell. Yeah, trained. Carrier strike group 2. Not everyone is trained up here, so we will move you into the fleet training command and we'll get you guys trained up. And what the training does is it makes it easier for us to fire. It means that we won't jump shock will be easier to deal with, stuff like that. So if I have a look at the current situation with these groups, okay, so carrier strike group 2 is in training. That's fine. That's completely fine by me. Get them trained up. That's cool. Carrier strike group 1 has some maintenance problems, so I'm going to put you guys into a overhaul yeah, begin overhaul, and then also refuel, rearm. But what's our current stockpile? Not looking too hot on that stockpile. We are building ordnance factories, but it is rough. It is a rough situation. But yeah, we will start doing daily increments once more. Complete overhaul, maximum level of training, complete surely, then it's rested. The Transval in Seoul has, so that'll be carrier group 3, and carrier group 2. So unload survivors accordingly, please. Okay, let's see how that training goes, because it does use a lot, obviously speaking. A lot of fuel and a lot of other resources, but it does help train them up, which is very, very important. What I will produce is the F4s. So we will order up to be produced 96 F4s in immediate production. They'll be done. I will make sure I cancel that and add. Make sure those are going into the right group. Fighter reserve, please. Construct 96 of them. How is this going? Transval only has 9.4% of its fuel left. Yeah, because they're all using fuel and then they're seeking it away. So just refuel from colony for now. Those are expensive fuel-wise to use. 100% fuel. Okay, what is going on with that admin? Oh, okay, stop. Nagato out of fuel. Try group, maximum level of training, maximum level of training. Those are all getting trained, that's fine. Gas core repairs have been carried out in Zitomir on the Quebec commercial mineral group. That's fine by me. Average class maintenance life, good. Obviously, we're going to need to get them resupplying. So what I do need to make sure that is done, if we go over to our escorted vessel, so you standing orders, deployment exceeded, refuel resupply at colony, and then do the exact same thing, refuel resupply. And then I'm also going to do the same thing over here. Yeah, you're good. Most of these should be good. I will need to look at the troop transports as well. If we go over to military sea lift, or not military space lift, my bad. And we go over here, if the point exceeded, refuel resupply. If the point exceeded, refuel resupply. Now, I want to get Arrakis up to a point where we can station like a massive fleet out of it. What is currently orbiting Arrakis causing issues? Arrakis. Zitomir. Commercial Mining Group 1. Scorcher Drive, Space Defense Force 3. Commercial Mining Group 1 has the Soryu on it. Yeah, of course. Yeah, the issue with that is that obviously the resources are getting moved weirdly. Go back to Sol and unload all minerals and then refuel. We'll get you new orders sorted out of there. Because otherwise it doesn't get moved correctly around. Do we have freighters available to actually correct that for us? You'll be done shortly. Okay, you, no. You're on the way. You're not doing anything. We'll have to just wait. How is training coming along here? Carrier strike group, repairs have been carried out. Yeah, that's fine. Sigma Draconis. Yeah, that's cool. Let me have a look at the training command then. So Fleet Strike Group 1, you are training. Getting all your guys up to training, though, however, this is going to use a lot of fuel. We're currently on 40 million litres. Yeah, we're going to have to stop that training for now. And I'm going to begin a overhaul onto Earth, and then a refuel resupply after that overhaul. So that we have those strike groups available. Ariel completes their overhaul. 2 Anking class vessels in Alpha are currently going through some issues. What's going on with that? You guys should be getting close to Earth, no? Commercial Freight Group 2. Yeah, they should be fine, I would imagine. So, Volga was repaired. That's good news. Military Space Lift. Yeah, those guys are too junior, apparently. Assign admin commander. There we go. They should be able to get back just fine. We do need to start producing those new cruisers, however. I will be in refits, to be honest. We'll refit existing cruisers, so we will refit the Ariel. Oh. Class. Can we not refit? Refit from Hosho. There we go. 1, 2. So that'll refit the Prospero and the Stefano. That'll be done early next year, or middle next year, that is. Labrador completes their overhaul, which is good news. So I believe the Labrador, if I remember correctly, was in our shipyard fleet. So if I go over to Naval Reserves, Carrier Group, Labrador was here with this fighter wing. We'll rename this, I believe this is Superiority Fighter Squadron. I believe this is number 17, I believe. I will give this a name, we'll call these guys the Parrots. And I also need to obviously move some stuff around here. So that's got 12 or 10 of them on there. I need to move any fighter reserves I have. F2s kind of fit for now. And then I'm going to order the Labrador to be moved over and to join a freighter group. So I'm going to detach you, and we're going to have you join up with... What kind of freighter groups do we have currently available that are doing something? You are moving over to Nerox 2, so Commercial Freight Group 2. We are going to have you be joined by Labrador. So go to Commercial Freight Group 2, join fleet, join as a subfleet actually. Join as a subfleet. Military Transport Group 1 cannot complete cycle orders. I believe that's because we were moving you back, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there we go. Labrador completed orders, which is good news. So what we're going to do is we're going to create subfleet. We'll create, I believe this is going to be Freight Squadron 1. If I look in here, what is going on with our commercial freights? So Freight Squadron, no, that'll be Freight Squadron 2. Freight Squadron 2. And then we're going to put these, yeah, all these guys in there. Like that. And then we're going to rename this to Escort Squadron 4. I think this is Escort Squadron 6. Yeah, I think this is Escort Squadron 6. And so those guys will move along with. They are going to be refueling. Let's have them deployment exceeded, refuel, resupply, and overhaul at Colony, of course. Okay, they have refueled correctly. We've got our civilians moving through just fine. And yeah, everything's looking okay-ish. Crew quarters have been carried out. That's good repairs. We're continuing to build out missiles. Let's actually look at designing ourselves some new fighters then. Okay, so in terms of fighters, let us go over to fighter F3. So we're going to copy this. We're going to take out the railgun. We're going to take out the power plant. We're going to take out the beam fire control. And we are going to add in missiles. So we're going to add in 1, 2, 3, 4 missiles. Okay. That's 4 launchers. This is F3. We'll call this F3/B for the distinction. And then we will need to obviously sort this out. We have an active sensor, of course. We're going to need a missile fire control. So if I go over missile fire controls, we don't really have a missile fire control available at a small enough size. 1.3 million kilometers is really kind of the range we want, and that's kind of the range I'm hoping to get. Yeah, we have this works. But we need to find the fuel, so I can get rid of the small. That does reduce our range significantly, so we only have a range of about 225 million kilometers distance. But that shouldn't be too much of a problem. We'll need to get, obviously, this missile fire control into actual research and on the way, which, if we have a look over here, is not going too well. I'm going to remove some labs from you, and I'm going to begin putting them towards this. We'll begin creating and getting these fire controls and these different researchers on the way. Alright, let's just continue our 1-day increments then. Oh, we are taking fire in Minerva over Terra Nova. I can't protect anyone going into Terra Nova, so unfortunately I'm going to just have to designate that as a military restricted system, at least for now. There is an enemy vessel in there, however, so what I am going to do, what's the distance from Earth? 27.5 billion kilometers. So what we will do is we will dispatch, I mean, I don't really want to dispatch anything right now because we're currently doing refits. Yeah, those ships are just dead, unfortunately. We're going to obviously stop that from occurring. Well, we're gonna stop people going in there. Main facilities, repairs carried out. STO built on Earth. That's good to see. And ground force, we nearly have that divisional headquarters done, which is good news. Complete research into division headquarters. So now what we can do is we can go over to our ground forces and we can go over to our formations. Go over to division headquarters. We can remove the current one. So remove the current element. Then add in the new division headquarters, which is 250,000 tons. There we go. And I'm going to order up a couple more new division headquarters to be constructed. Let's go to the new jump point in Tau Ceti. Now, Tau Ceti had a lot of promise, if I remember myself correctly. Yeah, a lot of promise. We even had a breathable atmosphere on this world. We just needed to sort the temperature out, and then that would be obviously a habitable world. We also had diesel, so a lot of promise in this system. Definitely a lot of titanium on this world, and also possibility. So Tau Ceti is something that we obviously want to look into. Obviously, we've been delayed by the current situation surrounding a lot of things right now. Okay, what I'm going to do, oh no, detach you, supply, commercial. There we go. We need to begin. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Zitomir. We're going to we'll do this off this then. So Alpha or delay 1 year. Go to Alpha, okay, or delay 1 year. Then we will go to Zitomir. We will then load all minerals. We will head back to Sol, and we will then unload all minerals, and then we will repeat. We need to make sure we're refueling as well. Refueling cycle orders. Okay, fuel situation is not looking great on Earth right now. What is the fuel transport guys doing? 150 days before you will be able to refuel from stationary tankers and then move that fuel over. You guys are currently stationed in Arrakis, but there's not much for you to do because we've moved all the fuel harvesters over. I'm pretty sure now. Yeah, we moved 13 fuel harvesters. So what we're going to do is that's going to free up the escort there. So we have these guys moving through. So what we're going to do now is we're going to detach Escort Squadron 5. I'm going to order Fleet Transport Group 2 to go to Sol. And to then refuel... No, not you guys. Not you guys. Join the subfleet. Ah, that was wrong. Fuel Transport Group 1... Yeah, no, everything's fine. You guys just need to wait for fuel. So how much fuel do we actually have in the Jovian fuel harvesters right now? Jovian fuel harvesters. 16.1 million litres. We mine 25 million litres a year. Okay. Do we have any more AHABs we can move over? I don't think so. No, we don't. Alright, well, we'll just have to wait then. Alright, Escort Squadron complete orders. That's good. Completing overhauls. We are actually getting some increments in now. STO built on Earth. Have we been able to ship over the STOs? Yeah, there we go. Now we have surface assault weapons on Arrakis, which is fantastic news, and that will obviously provide us a significant defensive capability right there. Jump drive, Sigma Draconis. Jump drive of the Lamprey. Why are you still serving? Okay, where are you? You're literally the furthest away possible. Huh, okay, that's a problem. I'm going to use SM to repair that because that is ridiculous. That I should have been probably notified of that. I'll be real with you guys. No, don't no repair. Naval Org. There we go. Lamprey, damage control, SM repair all, and then we'll get the Lamprey to hightail it back to Sol as fast as humanly possible. Sol, refuel your supply as fast as you can, please. Alright. What was that happened? Retire from service, Nagato out of fuel. Yep, I know Nagato's out of fuel. And we are continuing our survey in this area. Navy tugs are now done, which is good news. So we now have 27 million litres of fuel being harvested a year. We have enough capacity to transport that fuel every year. And we will continue to do so back to Earth as much as possible. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit of time. But, you know, time's what it is. Service stored weapons up here. We're going to get these service stored weapons moved around then. So I'm going to move these. So elements in, elements. Oh. Move all of these guys in. Rename this to service stored weapon battalion, PDF. And then I am going to get these guys moved to, if we go over to our mobility squadrons, mobility 1, mobility 2, you're nearly at Earth, you're going to load up the service stored weapon battalion, and you're going to take that over to Nerox, you're going to bring that over to Thalassa. No, not Thalassa, you're going to bring that over to refuel, load up service stored weapon battalion, take it over to Talos, take it over to Invictus, and then head back to Sol and then refuel. Hopefully, shouldn't take too long. You guys should have the range, or you do have the range to be able to reach there. Alright, bunch of overhauls completed, and King 17% of 19% of fuel. Where is that? We've got to be careful on these commercial freighters. Commercial freighter, you're fine, you're fine. Which was the freighter in question? 025? 025. Refuel resupply, you'll do that shortly. We'll be okay. Retired from service, that's completely okay. 5-day increments. Beam fire control research done. We can research into missile fire control as well now. So how much longer until we can build the frigate, guided missile frigate? So we are currently waiting on missile fire control. But obviously, we're going to need the shipyard size to be increased. We nearly have a 60,000 ton shipyard right there, which will be perfect. We are building this shipyard up as well. And we're going to be building up this shipyard for the Soryu on top of that. So what we are going to do is we are going to make a new fleet carrier. And we're going to base it off this. So we're going to need... So currently at 2400 EP, we're going to need quite a bit more. 3,750, so we're going to need probably 2 more engines, and we're going to need those engines at quite a bit more power. So if we go over here, so these are 2,400 ton engines, and I believe we already have those on the way, if I remember myself correctly. Yeah, these are 2,400 ton engines at similar. So we're going to remove the gas core engines, so the old engines, and we're going to add in the new engines. So 750 EP, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Okay, we can get rid of some of the fuel. Well, probably need it somewhat shortly. We are going to then add in new hangar decks. So what we are going to do is we're going to add in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. So 25,000 tons, which is a lot of hangar deck. This then gives us 4,000 tons remaining. I'm going to use that for engineering spaces now, because there seems to obviously be a big problem with that. So 1 point like that. We're going to try and fit a magazine onto this, because obviously we want to be able to have multiple loads of fighters. So let me think then. 12 fighters, 48 missiles a pop. let's say we want to do, let's do 8 salvos. So 48 times 8 is 384. So we're going to need a magazine of 3,000. So magazine capacity, 100. 5,000 tons. That is a big magazine. Big magazine. 50, that's 2,500 tons. 750. So that will get us 2 reloads for that many. No, it'll be 4 salvos, right? So if we have 12 fighters, they'll all fire 4 missiles. That's 48 missiles. 48 times 8 is 384. No, that is 384 space. Jesus. So that'll give us, yeah, let's that'll give us like kind of what we want. Like, so that'll give us 2 salvos, including the ones the fighters will have on them. So that'll give us 3. Not ideal, but we can probably look at a magazine ship in tow if needed. So we will prototype that design. And then we will add that magazine on. There we go. We will then change the fighters out. So I'm going to get rid of all these. I'm going to add in now the F4s. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to need 36 of them. No, not the F3s, the F4s. 36. And then we're going to need 12 F3s as well now. The 12 F3s, which should give us plenty enough capacity for what I want next. So we need a new observer craft. So these are the crafts we'll have on this. So 36 F4s, 12 F3Bs, and then yeah, range is going to need increasing. We need to increase fuel amounts. There's unfortunately not a lot we can do extra. What I can do is I can take out this reactor and add in a new reactor. So if I go over here to power plant, we go over to current researched. There we go, 36 power. And yeah, I mean, this is an expensive design. We're increasing the cost by only 3,000, but we are adding another 10,000 tons of hangar capacity, which is very big. We don't have any command and control stuff available. We don't have much of anything else available. So what I'm going to do is pad out the rest of this with probably fuel, because we're going to need it. Obviously, these will not be operating independently. But yeah, 3,750 kilometers per second, 7,300 BP. So we are going to need the ion drives, get them under research. We need the magazines, and obviously we're going to need the magnetic fusion research there. So we're going to go into power and propulsion. We're going to start research of that immediately. And we're going to then need to begin research of those ion drives, of this, and get all those underway. What we do need to do, however, is I need to go in and I need to begin designing some copies. So what we're going to do is we're going to create this thing called KC1. No, this should be C1. I forget. Yeah, this should be a C1. C1. We need to, so KC1, what we're going to do is we're going to take out the older ion drive. Okay. We're going to take out the sensors. We are going to go for a smaller envelope. So we'll say 3 months is 2 months is fine. 2 months is fine. Okay. It won't be a commercial design, don't worry about that one. We're going to need a small ion drive, but first we're going to get a refueling system. We're going to use a small craft refueling system, and we are then going to put in enough fuel storage for squadrons. So we are going to have, let's think about this, right? We're going to have fighters, we're going to have the F4s. F4s, 13,000 litres, so about 13,000 litres per fighter. Very cheap, actually. 12, we're going to have 12 fighters per thing, so 12 times 13,000 is 156,000. So we are going to need approximately 400,000 litres of fuel. So that's what we'll go for. 400,000, 400, so 1,000 litres of fuel. And that's how much is going to be needed to refuel and doubly boost everything. So we'll do 500,000 litres of fuel. Okay. And then we are going to need, we'll do 2 months so that it doesn't bug us for that. we're going to need the engine. So engines, we are going to need an engine that will be capable, but will be fuel efficient so that it can keep itself in the air. So we are going to go for let's go for a 300-ton engine. So HS6. And then we're going to, fuel capacity is fine for now, 75 EP. So that should get us a speed of 3,750 kilometers per second, which I'm actually pretty okay with because that'll allow us to keep up with shipping. So we'll go over here, we will begin design, we'll grab this engine. And then with the remaining amount, we will add in some sensors. I will also boost this up to 3 months. That's 3 months. Thermal sensor, of course. Yeah, thermal sensor and then a EM sensor, which I don't have. We'll just have the thermal sensor for now. It's pretty much got everything I want on it. We'll just add, I guess, a little bit more fuel so that it can do its job. And this will be the KC1. And the KC1 will be renamed accordingly. So we're going to call this, we're going to rename or change the design. We're going to rename it to a new hull. Cargo tanker will be the designation, and we will give it the exact designation KC as well. So cargo tanker KC, KC1 class, and then we will put this in service. So this can go as fast as our fleet can. It's a lot slower than most other vessels, but it will allow us to have these in patrol and areas. And have constant refuel resupply as needed. These are larger, much more obviously expensive design. We are currently trying to get this shipyard up. I'm going to need a new naval shipyard on top of all of this. So after the ordnance factories are done, I'm going to order up a new naval shipyard to be constructed. So I want one more naval shipyard at 40%, please. The next thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to redesign our sensor crafts. So if we go over to our observers, we're going to now designate these as P1s, or P1. We're going to redesignate this as a P1 class design. We're going to strip away the engine. We are going to then add in a new engine to keep up with pace. So this is going to be this ion drive. We will remove some of this fuel, which is causing a lot of problems actually. So remove that fuel like that. Maintenance supplies is also not properly sorted out either, and we're going to need to change out these sensors accordingly to actually be able to match what it matters. So I'm going to take that sensor out, and I'm going to take the thermal, and I'm going to take the EM sensor out, which are taking up so much space. We're going to add in a maintenance storage bay, so we're going to add in a tiny one, 2 tiny ones, there we go, and that now covers what we need. And then we are going to add in our sensors. So I want to add in resolution 15. So we're going to add in a 9 million kilometer resolution, 250 ton, resolution 15, 22 million kilometers. Do we really want? That would give us a really good capability, but the question is the speed. Because he needs to be able to keep up with our fighters in the field. Yeah, I don't think that's possible, really. So we'll go for this sensor. And we can do the EM, we can do the thermal sensor as well. But we'll do resolution 15, gets us the decent speed. They're not really gonna, I think we're gonna have to go for a larger vessel. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually delete this class. Delete this class. We're gonna copy, where is it? The cargo tanker. We're gonna copy this class. We're gonna take out the ion drive, and we're gonna put in a new ion drive. We're gonna take out the fueling system, take out the fuel, so much fuel anyway. And we're going to make a new kind of sensor situation here. So this is resolution 10, 500 tons. So we will put this in, and then we will put in the according engine. So we will go for a 300-ton engine, so that'll be size 6. But we will instead power boost this engine to get us to the speed we want. So we're going to need 240 EP, if I remember myself correctly, which I'm not sure we're going to be capable of doing. not as it currently stands anyway. What kind of engine would we need? 7, 7.5, 8? Yeah, we're looking like a 7.9 or 7.8 HS engine for what we want, 7.7. That's going to be tough. That's going to be a tall order. So I'm going to have to take out this active sensor for now. And we'll have to design a new active sensor from ground up. So that's what I will do. We'll go for resolution 15 sensor. And we will go for a size, let's do size 5. Size 5, that is 22 million kilometers. 250 tons. I guess that might just be what we have to go for. If we want that. We can probably pump this up to like, we need better sensor tech, to be honest. We can probably pump this up to size 8, 400 ton. Yeah, that'll probably work out. But it's not that much of a difference, and we're already going to have this on the way. Yeah, let's just go for the rest of 15. Let's just go for the new engine. And then we'll just have to face with how it is. Where did the new engine go on the crate project? New engine, create prototype. And then let us grab the new engine accordingly. 240 EP. Don't see it. What the hell? 240, 240, 240. Am I blind? Engines. 7.8. 250% power. Prototype design. There we go. Okay, that gets us out pretty damn fast, but again, that's the other issues. Fuel. This will allow us to obviously have a lot further of a range. And then I will put on an electromagnetic sensor as well. And then we also have the active search sensor, and then we will just put on additional fuel amounts as needed. Well, no, actually, what we need to put on is additional maintenance supplies. So we will do a small maintenance supply there, and then we will add in the extra fuel. And we will take this and we will call it P1 class sensor craft. Sensor platform scout. Sensor craft. Sensor craft. There we go. And then yeah, that's done there. So that P1's done, but we're gonna obviously need to begin research into that active sensor. We need to be a lot of different research. There we go. Let's get some more incrementing on, and then I think we'll end the episode off here. 1 day increment. Jellyfish needs new orders, so we'll get that moved over as needed. No, you need to refuel, resupply, and begin an overhaul on this colony, my dude. Okay, Nagato, STO built on Earth. More F4s are being built. Vistula and Crab complete overhaul. Crab can now be sent out again, so we're going to send you out towards Actum. Go find out what's there. Go to Tau Ceti. Go through this jump point, in fact. That'll take you quite a bit of time, obviously, to arrive. Carrier Strike Group 2. What were you doing again? I forgot. I don't remember exactly what you're doing. I think, oh, yes, the overhauling. Yeah, you're all good now, which is nice to see. 5-day increments, 5-day increments. Science team has researched the fire control, which is good news. We're going to need to continue to research into these different sensors and things that are going to be required. Shipyards are up and on the way. And yeah, I think that's where I'll leave the episode off. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out. Not a very action-packed episode, a bit of a lull, a bit of a reforming episode. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.